Well, good morning, everybody. We're going to do our Wake Up East Alabama morning podcast just a little bit different this morning. Um, we've got some great guests coming up later this week. Tomorrow, uh, Alabama House Representative Jeremy Gray talking about a great initiative that he has, and this is about combating senseless violence. And unfortunately, yes, that does involve guns. Now, let me be clear. His initiative in no shape, form, or fashion is anywhere suggesting removing guns. We understand the Second Amendment. We respect the Second Amendment. We know that's in our Constitution. But Representative Gray wants to come up with different ideas with working with law enforcement to negate what is an alarming problem in our schools and in our community. So this is going to be a great conversation. He will be on here tomorrow. Coming up on Thursday, Auburn Mayor Ron Anders, who, by the way, will be on the ballot later this month in his bid for re-election. He will be on the podcast. And then on Friday, we're going to talk some high school football. Man, it is getting exciting. Andrew, are you fired up for high school football?
I'm not a huge high
Not a
school
big one?
anything.
I understand. You want to hear some sporting news real quick?
Sure.
I feel like I'm about to declare for the WNBA draft because I feel like I've met all the requirements.
What are the requirements?
I don't know. I don't know. But I think two former NBA players have said they have met the requirements and they would like to enter the draft for the WNBA. And I'm thinking to myself, I feel like I can average probably 4 points. Maybe. I think I can hit a 3. If I'm wide open, the ball's a little bit smaller, the rim's a little bit smaller. I know.
The rim's a little small. You mean?
Yeah. I think so. Maybe. Hopefully. So I'm thinking about that. But no, seriously, high school football coming up. We are less than a month away from Auburn football on the plains. And so it's a big time of year. So we'll get into that on Friday. For today, we're going to do something that we have typically done a lot. And that is we're going to open up comments to you. We're going to run down some events going on here in the East Alabama area. And if you've got an event and you want to let me know about it, then we'll take a look at those comments. And we'll try and address those as quick and fast as we can. We're going to touch on some local news and talk about weather and get you prepared. Let's start off by talking about weather today. Let's get a look at this weather forecast. And I'm looking at our AccuWindow forecast. Looking right outside the window in downtown Opelika. And today we're looking at times of sun and clouds. That's going to give way to an afternoon shower of thunderstorms, possibly. That rain coverage expected to be around 30 to 40%. After that, get ready for it. Hot and muggy conditions, highs in the low 90s, and it could feel near 100 degrees. I don't know about y'all, but why is it that I feel like I could do the same weather forecast for like 3 months? And you ever notice how the meteorologists kind of cover their own tracks by saying keywords like the possibility? Probably going to be hot today. Possibility of rain, meaning it could rain, then it could not. But I feel like they're pretty accurate on that. So another hot one on tap for today. All right. Let me open up our social media to take a look at some of our comments that's going to be coming in this morning. Yesterday had a great show, but it wasn't the same without Andrew, as you know. We did have John Neal from the City of Valley and Valley Parks and Recs, and they're doing great things over there. A great fundraiser for the Children's Miracle Network that's coming up. Of course, you can take a look at all our events on our website, eastalabama.news. And also, Micah Messer was talking about cameras. There's a trending thing. Have you been paying attention to all these cameras through all that? It starts with, how do you pronounce it? It starts with an F.
FX5.
That's it. And these cameras that can be potentially an invasion of someone's privacy, where they can have.
Oh, the flock cameras.
That's it. That's
Okay.
it. That's it. That's it.
I was
that's
like
it,
invasion.
No.
Flock
That's
cameras.
it. The flock cameras. So he was talking about the flock cameras yesterday, and it was like, whoa. I had not really paid close enough attention. Have you been paying close enough attention to the flock cameras?
They pop up on my TikTok feed, but like there are several throughout Auburn. Like we have 3 in our neighborhood alone.
Oh.
And like there are several throughout campus, and we have some at our like forest properties and stuff. So they're very common.
Yeah, now I say the same thing for the flock cameras as I will for the data centers, and I guess maybe they can kind of go hand in hand, I guess. But I'll say the same thing. I don't have enough information. I'm still collecting information before I can, say, well, this is my opinion. So that was a good show yesterday. So today we want to talk about some news you can use. We want to hit you up with a lot of stuff. Not a lot of pressing, breaking, urgent news for today, but let's dial it back a week ago, and I want to hear your comments. What are some issues that you are wanting us to look at, and what are some news that you want us to tackle? All right, out of Auburn last week, this is a big one, as Auburn Council approved a $240 million warrant for a second Auburn high school. This is big news. This is real big news. Now, according to insiders, the new high school for Auburn is now one step closer to reality. That's not a big surprise. Let's break down the financials as we tend to do. Auburn School is going to be the beneficiary of the bulk of this $240 million. Some of it's going to be for infrastructure.
214, not 240.
It is 214. Thank you. Yes, it's 214. Okay, so the second Auburn school is probably going to get the bulk of that, and they're going to have money aside for infrastructure projects in the city of Auburn. We are going to talk to Auburn Mayor Ron Anders about that more in depth coming up on Thursday. This is what Allison Edge from the city of Auburn, their finance director, said, that Auburn School 2, they're going to receive the bulk of the funding. The high school construction is in progress, and they will be using the funds to fund that construction. And there's going to be some money left over, obviously, for infrastructure projects.
So there's the 240 that you mentioned. 241.8 is the whole budget. And
that's the whole budget, right?
Is what's directly allocated to the school.
Okay, so 214 is allocated to the school. That's what I thought. Okay, 214 allocated to the school, but the overall is 240. So we're going to talk to Mayor Anders about that on Thursday. Allison Edge, City Finance Director, says that the bond isn't a new debt, which is always a good thing. That it represents an opportunity for investors to back Auburn's ongoing growth, and that, my friends, is a fact. Auburn is in tremendous shape right now. So that's something of importance that happened last week. I love a ribbon cutting, and I know you do too. And our friends at the Opelika Chamber have got some big ones. They're actually teaming up with the Auburn Chamber that is going to be coming up today at 10 a.m. Opelika Auburn Chambers is hosting the ribbon cutting for Club Nanny. That's a Christian nanny placement and babysitting service, connecting families with trusted caregivers in the Auburn Opelika area. That's at 714 East Glen Avenue, where that ribbon cutting will be. That is at the Auburn Chamber. So that is taking place a little bit later this morning. Also, the Opelika Chamber is hosting a ribbon cutting for Opelika's newest women's clothing store, Ryoese Boutique. I hope I pronounced that right. That's coming up tomorrow at 4 o'clock at 229 South 8th Street in Opelika. Where are we now? Last week, this is so, I don't know, man. Last week, Opelika police charged a 39-year-old Opelika man on 4 counts of possession of child pornography. Jeffrey Russell of Opelika was taken into custody and booked into the Lee County Jail following an investigation into a tip from the Internet Crime Against Children's Task Force and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Investigators said the tip indicated videos were uploaded in March of this year. Through the investigation, Russell was identified as a suspect. You can read this whole press release in its entirety on our website, eastalabama.news. Opelika Police encourages anyone with information to contact Opelika Police and their detective division at 334-705-5220, or the Secret Witness Hotline at 334-745-8665. Tips can also be submitted through their mobile app. Callers may remain anonymous if they choose to. Looking for work? Well, I'm glad you asked. Opelika Job Seekers, your next opportunity is here. Goodwill Southern Rivers hosting a multi-employer hiring event tomorrow at the Goodwill Career Center, connecting you potentially with top local employers ready to hire. This will take place from 9:30 in the morning to 12 noon at 3740 Pepperell Parkway in Opelika. You can meet with employers from Waffle House, Auburn Hospitality, Labor Finders, and more all in one place. Bring your resume, dress for success, and get ready for on-the-spot interviews. Finally, are you a fan of Legally Blonde and Legally Blonde 2? Well, there's a reason why I ask. Because the Opelika Community Theater will be presenting Legally Blonde Jr. the musical. Join Elle Woods as she proves that staying true to yourself is the greatest strength of all in a fun-filled, energetic musical that's perfect for the whole family, packed with unforgettable songs, plenty of laughs, and an inspiring message about determination and believing in yourself. This is one show that you don't want to miss, said the Opelika Community Theater in a social media post. Come cheer on the incredible cast of 7th through 12th graders as they bring this beloved story to life all on one stage. For tickets, you can visit eastalabama.news. I have the link that's on our events tab where you can order tickets. And that's just some of the things that we have going on here in East Alabama. Let's see here. A lot of people have their oh, by the way, I know we're our social, when we're on social media, because we are filming this also, sometimes it can kind of lag just a minute or two behind. So listen, we are monitoring comments. If you have any comments on something that you want us to tackle, please let us know. There's a big election coming up in Alabama in November. I don't know if you are aware, but we will be having a new governor. Alabama Governor Kay Ivey has been fantastic. She really has. And I owe a debt of gratitude to Governor Ivey. She didn't know it, but she was helpful in getting our whole social media kicked off. Want to hear a great story? Do you? Because I'm about to tell you. Going back many years ago now, probably closer to 8, 9, I had a call from a great friend of mine who is a judge, the Honorable Judge Isaac Wharton. We have been friends for a long time. And he had informed me when I was at the radio station, iHeart, that there was going to be some big news going on in Montgomery. So I made my way. And what had happened was, at the time, Governor Robert Bentley was going to be stepping down potentially. That's what the rumors were. So here we go. We were on our way. We camped out in Montgomery all day long. Well, I'm not going to bore you to death, but I am going to give you the meat and potatoes of this. What happened was they get in there, and after Bentley was processed, former Governor Bentley was processed, he announced his resignation. Imagine this. There are every news outlet in Montgomery and yours truly. And right there in the big oval room, you have AL.com, CNN, NBC, ABC, and some schmo sitting Indian style with a phone without a tripod. Picture it. It's this right here. Big news story, biggest news story in the state. And here is your boy right here pulling this number. And we captured it. And that's when I knew that news was going to be shifting. So I just want to say, with a few months to go, Governor Ivey has been fantastic. She allowed me an opportunity to talk to her and interview her, and I have met with her multiple times. And I don't know what your opinion is, and I'm not going to try and enhance your opinion or change your opinion. But for me personally, I believe Alabama Governor Kay Ivey has been exceptional. One word I would use to describe Governor Ivy is she steadied the ship. And believe me, close to a decade ago, that bad boy was rocking, and it was rocking hard. And when you look at where we are today, specifically in East Alabama, I want to thank Governor Kay Ivey. With that being said, we have an election coming up. On the Republican side, it will be Alabama Senator, U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville in his bid to become Alabama's next governor. He will be opposed by the Democratic nominee, Doug Jones. Now, right now, the latest polls show Tuberville with about an 8%. He's up about 8 points is what I'm trying to say. And this is the gap is narrowing. We got time, and buckle up, because this is going to be an exciting election. There's going to be a lot of big elections coming up in November, so keep your eye on that. Let me see what Tuberville's camp has been saying. There's been a lot of speculation. I'm going to say it's been speculation about residency. I don't think that's going to work. He's on the ballot. We can talk about, what's constitutional, what's not. Can you prove it? That's the whole thing. And so that's going to be an election to keep your eye on. There's going to be other elections coming up as well. Before we get to that, we got a city election to get y'all ready for in Auburn. This is a big one, as the incumbent Auburn Mayor Ron Anders bidding for re-election, and we get a chance to talk to him on Thursday. I am very much looking forward to that. We are now less than 20 days, I believe, before the start of high school football. Opelika welcoming Hoover to town, and that's going to be a jammed up night right there. That's really going to get the high school football season somewhat kicked off. It's going to be an exciting season. We can't wait for high school football. Speculation had been brewing over the past probably 2 to 3 weeks regarding if Opelika football would be carried on the local radio station that had been carrying it for many years. And at first, nobody knew, because 97.7 was recently the victim of some national iHeart layoffs. And with that, they didn't know. But they did come to an agreement with a text we got right here on the Wake Up East Alabama morning podcast. So they are going to be doing high school football in Opelika this year. So that's a good win, and I'm very encouraged about that. So last week we had Opelika head football coach Jonathan Chandler on the show. He is pumped up. He is fired up. He's ready to go, and we are ready for some high school football too. Oh, the Southern Union Bison Express just rolled through the parking lot here in the chamber. Fantastic. Shout out to Southern Union President Todd Shackett, my dear sweet friends at Southern Union, Harper and Shondi. Good morning to you. I love what Southern Union's doing. I mean, I do. I am a fan. I am not a Southern Union graduate. I did not attend Southern Union, but man, I am on that Bison Express, believe you and me. I love what Southern Union's doing. Fantastic. Speaking of Southern Union, I watch a lot of these podcasts, and it was a podcast with Elon Musk. And get this, Elon says, according to his calculations, by 2033 or 2035, 80 to 85% of white-collar jobs, what in the 90s, Andrew, we used to call the cool jobs. Mm-hmm. The fun jobs, the creative jobs, stuff that I'm more wired to. He says probably roughly by 2035, 80 to 85% of those jobs will be eliminated. And I think you're going to see aviation, which is already going on. They are about to go gangbusters. And you're going to need those jobs. You're going to need both jobs. But when he said that, I was alarmed. I was confused. And I said, what? There's no way this is possible. But if you look at the trajectory of AI and everything going on, it's really not that hard to believe. So with that being said, I want all of our East Alabama school districts to embrace not just vocational, 2-year trade, also the 4-year. We're going to need them all. We're going to need them all. The future is still bright. Believe you and me. It's not doom and gloom. I'm not saying this out here to be Captain Buzzkill. You know, I'm telling you that yes, there's going to have to be a way that we have to adapt and we have to figure this thing out. But at the same time, there is going to be tremendous opportunity. What you're seeing right now is something that you're going to see more of. Podcasts, you're going to see more messaging, you're going to see more of great stuff going on. So with that being said, embrace technology. It's not the big evil doer that we think it is. There is going to be great opportunity coming out of this. Listen, we're going to keep this podcast up this morning, and we just want to have a chance to talk to you. We just want to have a chance to talk. We're going to be out and about in the community. I'm going to go try and hit that ribbon cutting with the Auburn and Opelika Chambers today. We always bring you this podcast every morning from the Opelika Chamber of Commerce. And as long as Andrew is behind the wheel, we got a good shot at bringing you truly news you can use. If you have a suggestion of guest, we put a teaser out on social media and got enormous response of people that want to come on and talk about things. Now, we're talking about if you have an event going on, we want to give you a platform to get that thing out there. If you have a classified, a job fair, or news, and you said, listen, this is something I'm looking into, this is something I would like to get some promotion on, hey, let me know. If you are a small business too, and you're like, hey man, I don't know how to get the word out about my business, let me tell you something. We're going to invite you to come on here. This is what we intend to do. This is our goal. This is our mission, and we want to be local for you. Last night, and I'll wrap this up real quick. Last night, I was at an event, and the conversation came up that we used to be on the station, and we would go over there and talk. And I think this is where podcast is really going to be an enormously big deal, because we are now here to give you the opportunity to promote whatever you want to promote. Let's just talk about it. So this morning, it's just me and Andrew. Tomorrow morning, though, we have a great lineup with Alabama House Representative Jeremy Gray and a great initiative. And then coming up on Thursday, don't forget, Auburn Mayor Ron Andrews. You guys have a great day. On behalf of my good man Andrew behind the wheel, my name is Gator Kincaid.